outside or a damn skating rink, Waddy continued. It might be faster if you go there directly from home instead of coming into the office first. During the call, I had managed to blot myself dry with the towel. Now I held the phone away from my ear long enough to pull a T-shirt on over my head. I returned the phone to my ear just in time to hear Waddy continue. Do that. Detective Kramer will meet you there as soon as he can. The guys in the garage are trying to find another set of chains. One broke just as he was starting up the ramp. Kramer? I asked, hoping I had heard him wrong. Did you say Detective Kramer? What about Big Al? I can get along all right with most of the people in Seattle PD, but Detective Paul Kramer is one notable exception. When it comes to my list of least favorite people, Kramer is right up there at the top, just under Maxwell Cole, the lead crime columnist for our local news rag, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer. Why, I thought somebody would have let you know, Waddy returned. He and Molly both came down with a bad case of food poisoning after a Daughters of Norway dinner Saturday night. They ended up in the Ballard Hospital emergency room along with 15 or 20 other people. He's still in no shape to come back to work, and Kramer's partner called in sick as well. So we're stuck with each other. For the time being. Having to work a case with Detective Kramer was a bad way to start a new week and an even worse way to start a new year. If I were superstitious, I might have seen it as an omen. Swell, I grumbled. With that, I hung up on Waddy and dialed the concierge, making sure someone was working on the heat pump problem, and asking her to call for a cab while I finished dressing. People in the Pacific Northwest are used to clouds and rain in winter. That kind of weather is expected and comes with the territory. Arctic cold isn't, and nobody here knows what to do when it comes. I put on an extra sweater over my shirt before adding the shoulder holster for my new 9mm Beretta automatic. My old faithful .38 Smith & Wesson was still gathering dust in some evidence room in Prescott, Arizona. With a wool tweed sport coat over both sweater and automatic, I rummaged around my apartment until I located the fur-lined leather gloves and gaudy muffler my kids had sent me for Christmas several years earlier. Fortunately, I wasn't working under cover, because that muffler is anything but unobtrusive. By the time I raced downstairs and into the clear, bitter cold, a green Far West cab with white smoke billowing from its exhaust system and chains on its worn rear tires was stopped in the passenger loading zone in front of the building. I was glad I wasn't driving. In my experience, cab companies don't mess around with chains until well after it's absolutely necessary. The school district office, I said as I climbed inside. South slope of Lower Queen Anne, just off Mercer Street. The cab driver obviously didn't need an exact address. With a nod, he slipped the car into gear, and we crunched away from the sidewalk. City crews had been working through the night to clear main arterials of the 7 or 8 inches of snow that had fallen Sunday afternoon and evening. The snowstorm had been followed by a frigid cold front that had swept down out of Alaska, bringing with it record-breaking lows. The main thoroughfares, some of which had been cleared of snow earlier, were now glazed over by a thick layer of ice. The taxi rumbled along like a slow-moving tank. If you live in Chicago or upstate New York, 7 or 8 inches of snow followed by treacherous ice is no big deal because those cities are flat. Seattle isn't. Steep glacial ridges create streets that resemble roller coasters under the best of circumstances. Combined with ice and snow, the city's rough terrain becomes a bumper car disaster. At the first hint of snow, many Seattleites head home at once and stay there for the duration. It beats crashing and burning your car on some ice-bound street. Stores quickly sell out of the essentials: milk, bread, and videos. With 4 inches on the ground, the city comes to a standstill. That morning's 8 inches was double that. Except for my solitary cab, 2nd Avenue all the way down to the Central Core was entirely deserted. "I understand they let all the kids out of school today," the driver said conversationally.